In the early years, the main building on campus was a 4-story frame building called Old Main. Its many rooms included dormitory space for students, apartments for teachers, classrooms, a kitchen, a laundry room, and a library. Two days before Christmas in 1914, Old Main burned to the ground. Although the boys and staff salvaged some of the contents of the library, the fire was a severe blow to the farm school. In the years following the fire, the library was decentralized as it rebuilt its collection.
A room in each of the dormitories has been converted into a library and reading room with books, papers, and magazines, profitable reading for boys, and to which they may have access at any time. The textbook library contains a sufficient amount of text used in the school, and these may be had on the payment of a small book rent. Asheville Farm School Catalog, 1917.
By 1925, the farm school library collection stood at 1,500 volumes, which exceeded the standards for high school libraries at that time. When Carson Hall, the new administration building, was built in 1926, the library moved into a room on the ground floor, again centralizing its collection and operations.
We do think the library is one of the big educational factors at farm school. Our library is a very pleasant room, we think. Light, cheerful, and well furnished. 4 reading tables furnish ample space for the accommodations of students, and during a large part of the day, these tables are well occupied by readers. The Owl and Spade, 1931.
The library was also growing its programs. Miss Maud Node, the librarian, promoted the use of the library. A book club was formed in 1932, and a separate reading nook was set up for the boys in the lobby of Laura Sunderland Hall, the main dormitory. Periodicals were the most popular with the boys, especially the Asheville Citizen and the New York Times. The World Book Encyclopedia was also a favorite. By 1932, the library collection numbered around 5,000 volumes, plus 50 periodicals and 2 newspapers. Over 2,000 additional volumes were stored in the basement.
The library has become a favorite haunt for boys at the farm school. Although some are assigned classes in the library, there are always others who find the library a pleasant place to spend their spare time. About 40 or 50 boys attend the library daily, varying from 5 to 25 each period. The students from every department are coming to realize the value of the reference aids and working out projects, keeping encyclopedias, dictionaries, and other reference material in constant use. Because of the fact that new magazines and books are constantly crowding into the library, things are becoming vastly crowded and our room is insufficient. Ray Swanson, student, Asheville Farm School, 1933.
Recognizing the need for a library building, Dr. Henry S. Randolph, the superintendent of the farm school, began a campaign to gain permission and to raise money from the Presbyterian Board of Home Missions.
It is to be built of logs in the same way that the old log houses were built in cabin units, 1 story high, bare logs on the inside, big fireplace, beam ceiling, etc. Overall, including all cabin units, it would be about 60 by 40 feet. This would be one of our greatest projects. The educational value of this building alone would be worth $2,000 to the boys, and then it would have a lasting value. Henry S. Randolph, Superintendent, Asheville Farm School, 1931.
In 1932, with the country in the grip of the Great Depression, the Board of National Missions granted permission for the construction, quote, with the understanding that the work is to be done by the students with local materials and without cost to the board," unquote. When the Asheville Farm School was 39 years old, it had its own library building. The location for the new library was previously occupied by a dining room that had burned in 1928. Doane Ogden, the landscape supervisor, and the boys on his crew had transformed the hillside into a lovely flower and rock garden with a pool below. Oscar Clark, a woodworking and engineering teacher at the school, designed the log building and drew up the blueprints for the structure. Construction began in March 1932.
Brother went into the woods with axe and logging tools and cut over 100 logs 63 feet by 6 inches in size. All summer long, wearing only shorts, he and 4 other boys bronzed their backs and modeled their muscles, lifting one log after another and placing each one until they developed a gem of rustic beauty in a rock garden setting. Uri Lockridge, staff member, Asheville Farm School, 1933.
On one of the most beautiful sites of the campus, Farm School's new library is being built. It was the work for a number of boys this summer, and will also be during part of the school year. The first approach from the front entrance is the log fireplace, which in many ways makes it resemble a pioneer dwelling. From the north, it overlooks the Swananoa River and has a Blue Ridge Mountain view from every viewpoint. From this building, many of the students have learned and enjoyed developing the skill and art of rustic carpentry work. The completion of this new building will add a new pride to the beautification of our campus. Practically all the material used came from the farm, which will make it cost very little. Elmer Feltner, student, Asheville Farm School, 1932.
Our new library, which was started last summer, is nearing completion. It is going to be our most beautiful building. Situated in front of the library is a rock garden with a waterfall flowing into a fish pond. On the left, one may see the beautiful lily pond with its lovely gardens of flowers, shrubs, and grass. The building is being made of logs from trees cut down on campus. Mr. Clark and his boys are doing the carpentering while Mr. Larson and his crew do the painting. Mr. Ogden is giving us the landscaping work, which beautifies the place. Work has been very slow because of bad weather and because of other work that had to be done by Mr. Clark's boys. Not only is this library going to be a beautiful part of Farm School, but it is also going to be a much better place to study. There will be plenty of room, more quiet, and also a better place to read than in the old location. Every boy in school is waiting for the day to come when it will be opened for study and reading. Woodrow Keller, student, Asheville Farm School, 1933.
The building is composed of one large central room with a large stone fireplace and vaulted trestle ceiling, 2 smaller rooms on each end, with an alcove adjoining each of these end rooms. 4 of these rooms are used for reading, reference, fiction, and general works, and the other is a workroom for the library staff. 2 huge millstones were obtained from the Pisgah National Forest. One was sunk into the doorstep at the entrance. The other was placed in the chimney above the fireplace. All the metal fixtures were forged in the mechanic shop as a student project. These fixtures included the light bands and chains, the fireplace and irons, and the door hinges. The tables, shelving, and cabinets were made in the woodworking shop, also as a student project. This building, which easily accommodates 40 to 50 boys, was completed in May 1933. The total cost covering all plumbing, electric, and hardware fittings was only $1,000. Miss Maud Node, the librarian at the time, then began removing all the volumes from the old to the new library and preparing for the shelves the many new ones that had come in during the building of the new library. Pister M. Lyons, Jr., student, Asheville Farm School, 1940.
A step forward in our farm school life this year has been the completion of our attractive log library. The windows overlook 30 or 40 acres of level farmland, and in the distance a panorama of beautiful mountains. Again, taking advantage of what nature had provided for us, we went out into our own woods and cut the trees for this building. From our own river bottom we found stone to build a handsome fireplace. From our machine shops we hammered out the hinges of the doors and the lighting fixtures, and in our woodworking shop we built the shelves for the books. Thus, at a minimum cash outlay, our students have provided for themselves a type of building which fits naturally into a southern mountain environment, and one which is unsurpassed in its invitation for reading and study. Henry S. Randolph, 1933.
The library is a center of research and creative activity in the progressive educational method in progress at Asheville Farm School. Boys walk down the hill from Laura Sunderland Hall, the large dormitory, past the sparkling falls and the deep pool, all their work, and enter a large room trestled with log beams and bordered with shelves of books. Here they may sit in the warmth from a spacious stone fireplace or work in the adjoining reference rooms and learn the joy of reading and study in a setting of Highland inspiration. The important center of the program at Asheville Farm School is beautifully enhanced by a highly trained and gracious librarian. Uri Lockridge, staff member, Asheville Farm School, 1933.
The library is one place that you will find students at almost any hour of the day, and until 9:15 at night, pondering and studying diligently in the reference books, circulation books, and current periodicals. It is quite an interesting sight to visit the library around 8 o'clock at night to find a few students scattered here and there at the various tables. A large number of the students are vitally interested in current events of the present day, and with such a keen interest in the affairs of France, Austria, Russia, Cuba, and the United States Recovery Program so evident that an orderly scramble is seen when the daily papers and new magazines arrive. First extras. The byword of students is heard repeatedly as students await their time. Chester Keller, student, Asheville Farm School, 1934.
In 1942, the farm school merged with other Presbyterian mission schools in the area to form the coeducational Warren H. Wilson Vocational Junior College that later became Warren Wilson College. Two stone wings were added to the log library in 1952. The plans were drawn by Leon Deschamps, and the construction was directed by Sam DeVries. Today, the Log Library building is home to Warren Wilson College's Work Program Office and Center for Community Engagement.
There's a moon glow in Carolina, dying to shine on you. Headlong to the heartland at the Blue Ridge before dawn. Another ticket into the turnstile, lay the grass onto the lawn. There's a white line to the right side, living forever long. But some things will never outgrow the occasion. Times what has become the pond.